Today is Thursday. Thursday is the day that the Fed Reserve drops what the average for the 30-year fixed rate mortgage was for the last week. In other words, today is the day that we find out if interest rates went up or if they've been going down for the last 7 days. And it also tells us what interest rate we're going to be using for the next week on our calculator, okay? So that's how we base our interest rates for 1 week at a time. With that being said, let's take a look, okay? All right, so yeah, went up again. All right, we were at 6.38 as of last Thursday. As of today, the average is up to 6.46, guys. This is nuts. This is crazy. Interest rates just keep going up. And that makes deals that were close, borderline deals. What this basically means is deals that were borderline deals a week ago, maybe are no longer deals today, right? Just because your interest payment is going to be higher and you're not going to be able to cash flow either soon or ever. So guys, just take a look real quick at like how exponential the increase is right here. Okay, check it out. Look how exponential the interest rate just increased. 5.98, right? President Trump kind of gloated about this. He was like, "Oh, guys, we're doing great." You know, it's the interest rate dropped to a 5-year low, which is true. It's true. It dropped to a 5.98 on February 26th, and that's why he's anxious to get this thing done with, right? Today, right before we went live, I saw that he's actually getting rid of a guy that's, like one of the generals, like chief of staff of the army or something like that. He's trying to show the public that he's not happy with the progress that how the progress is this progressing, guys. That it's not progressing at the rate that he wants, at the clip that he's looking for, right? Now, it could all be stance, it could all be posturing, but at the end of the day, the markets do react to this stuff, and this is how they're reacting. We're up to 6.46. Let's put that on our calculator before we start analyzing deals. And guys, this makes it all the better for you guys. If you guys are buying deals, right? Remember, you got to look at everything through like the most positive lens possible, okay? And we got to like remember that in our own personal lives and in our business lives too. How can we use the 6.46 or a high interest rate to our advantage? Well, very easy. We go to the seller and we're like, "Hey, Mr. Seller, you're probably not getting as many offers as you've been getting lately, or maybe you had an offer rescind or whatever the case is." That being said, interest rates are really high. I'd love to get the property from you, but you're gonna have to decrease the price a bit. You're gonna have to decrease the price a bit for me to be able to purchase this, and this is where I think that like the price needs to be at. And then you can go back and forth with negotiation, right? But when interest rates go down, all of a sudden that seller gets really cocky and he's like, "Oh no, interest rates are going down. Like, this deal is better for you, just buy the deal." So it's going to be harder to negotiate when interest rates are lower. That's why, if you want to be able to negotiate, interest rates going up are a great tool to do that. All right. That being said, guys, let's see what the market's actually looking like over the last 7 days in Miami-Dade County. We're going to go up here. We're going to click on this. We're going to look at the market watch. And as you can see here, this is what I look at. I see how many houses hit the market in the last 7 days and how many had a price decrease. And now it's been about 10 days, guys, 10 days in a row, more or less, that as many houses hit the market as you have sellers calling their agents or agents calling their sellers and them agreeing on lowering the price of their home. So in other words, for every house that hits the market, another house that was on the market is lowering their price. Right? And so in other words, what that also tells us is that the probability of these people that are coming onto the market that are going to have to decrease their price to be able to sell is also quite high. Okay, it's going to be quite high. So that's what we're looking for, guys. If a deal doesn't make sense when we're looking at it, right? So if this calculator, for example, if that was 0 and the calculator is all the way in the red, then it doesn't make any sense to like really negotiate this, because let's say the house was at 689. They would have to drop the price of this house to like $300,000 for even to start getting close to making sense, right? So like it's improbable. So when we see deals that are this far, guys, interest rates are not going to freaking matter, right? Like even if this was at like a, 1% interest rate, right? Like it wouldn't freaking matter. So that being said, guys, just keep that in mind. What we're looking for today is cash flow, properties that are going to cash flow in Miami-Dade County. And I say all this to also say, if we find a property and it's close, right? So like, let's say this was like 4,000. That makes it a great deal. All right, 3,000. Right? This property, right? It's close. On the 1% rule, it's a 0.8, right? It's close to being in the green for, the rents paying the mortgage, right? 125% of the mortgage. That's what we're looking for, because that makes it really easy to get a loan from the bank. So if it's close, right? What the market tells you right here, what this market tells you is that you could also negotiate this price, right? It means that if it's close, right, you should have some time before this guy is going to be able to sell. This guy's going to have to lower his price in order to sell. And now the person that gets there first and the person that continues to stay on top of that deal, right, every single Monday, right after the weekend, calling that owner or calling the agent and saying like, hey, dude, like, I'm really interested in the house. Hey, dude, I'm really interested in the house. Hey, let's make this work. Hey, let's make this work. Let's make this work. Throwing them like, having those those prices. If the guy's like it's a knucklehead and is not motivated to sell, maybe he's never going to drop the price. But especially in the economy we're in right now, guys, again, another bad thing that you could turn to your advantage. In the economy that we're in right now, people are starting to really hurt. They already went through their savings. Credit card debt, we know in the country, is at an all-time high. People want that money. They want that cash. So use that to your advantage, negotiate, and bring that price down for the motivated sellers. All right, I have spoken enough about the market. Let's take a look at the actual deals that hit the market today. We're going to come down here. We're going to look at new multifamilies in the last 24 hours. I'm going to click on that. Okay, so since I've been talking, a whole nother property hit the market. So now there's 9 properties that hit the market, guys. 9 properties. So we're going to add that here to our list. And we are going to see these properties. I like to click here, just get a quick view over all the properties. I like to sort by square foot. That's how we do it on this program. Okay. And the first 2 duplexes, I could almost guarantee, well, maybe this $1.5 million duplex, depending where it's in Miami, it's going to make some sense. But this $3.5 million duplex in Miami, unless it's in front of the water and you could get some, I don't know, some crazy stuff and rent it out for some crazy amount of money, it's not going to make sense. Let's take a look at the pictures before anything. Okay, guys. Yeah, I mean, they could have spent all the money putting mulch and painting, but Jesus Christ, look at the inside of this. It's just a hot mess. Look at the outside. No, no, no. All right, I don't even want to go through the rest of these pictures. It's mediocre. And guys, I don't care if it's in the middle of like the best area of Miami, right? Let's see. Best development opportunity income producing in the heart of Coconut Grove. Yeah, it's in a great, let's say it's in a great area of Miami-Dade. Guys, but we are not in this channel. We're not analyzing development deals, okay? If you want to do that, I don't think there's a channel out there that really focuses on development deals, but it's something that you could study, and that's not what we do. We look for properties that are going to make you cash the day that you buy them, okay? Or very soon thereafter, and that are going to increase your wealth. So for that reason, let's just, for shits and giggles, put it up here. $3.5 million, okay? Oh, 35. $3.5 million. Right, paying $25,000 in taxes, basically. You would need to get, if you guys know the 1% rule, you would need to get about $30,000 worth of rent for this deal to be making sense. Maybe $27,000, right? For it to be making sense. So for that reason, guys, and plus, if you bought it at $3.5 million, your taxes are going to go up to like, I don't know, $75,000 a year, right? So yeah, that makes more sense. The needle here and the needle there. All right, so again, this property is going to be a hard pass for us. We're going to go ahead. We're going to refine. We're going to discard this property. We're going to put this property on the fail list for today. The first property that we analyzed is out of here. Okay, let's take a look at the next property. This is a $1.495 million, million duplex, fourplex in Miami-Dade County. They are currently paying $14,637 a year in rent, in taxes. And square foot wise, it's 2,241. It's not that big. So I'm wondering already where they're going to get their income from. They say that they're collecting $6,700 in income, guys. So, and it's flood zone AH, which that means that you're probably going to pay a bit of a premium on your insurance for that flood insurance, okay? It's not as good as the next. Okay, guys, so they are showing us this looks like a rendering. All right. Yep, that's a rendering and a half. And the reason that's important that they're showing us these renderings is because that means that the property is likely not built. Let's look at the guts of this deal. Exceptional opportunity to acquire a fully leased fourplex, 6,500 square feet, currently generating $6,700 a month in income. Also offers a prime development opportunity with potential to build up to 22 units. So, okay, guys, they're selling this. Ideally, the price is made for the play. For the play here is to build 22 units on the land, okay? It's to build 22 units on the land, but they don't tell us much about that. They don't tell us if they already zoned it, or like if they already get like, so, I mean, they have renderings, right? But if an architect's looked at it, like, and it's done, it's a done deal, you could tear this down. Plus, that being said, guys, it's not an income producing property because if you bought it for $1.5 million, right? With the idea of building on it, you would kick out the tenants, right? As soon as the leases were over, and then you would build your thing, in which case you would be losing money every single freaking day on holding costs. So for that reason, this property is also not making any money as it is, right? The price would need to be closer to like $700,000 to consider their rents that they're currently getting. So we're not going to go for it. We're going to discard this property as well. All right. So, sorry guys. Here we go. All right. So we're down to $547 a square foot. That is for an $849,000 duplex in Palm Beach. Okay, currently paying $10,941 in taxes. And square feet, it's not that big, 1,500 square feet. All right, let's see what it has to offer. Let's look at the pictures first. Nice. It actually looks like a single family home, not gonna lie. But I mean, it's a gorgeous property. Look at all this space. Oh, it's only 2 pictures. I kept looking at them. All right. A rare investment opportunity offering versatility, space, and a strong income potential. Situated on a spacious double lot, this unique property features a duplex alongside a massive detached garage, making it ideal for investors, owner-occupants, or anybody seeking multiple income streams. The duplex includes 2 units, a 1-1 and a 2-1. Jesus Christ. So all it has is a 1-1 and a 2-1, bro. Okay? And it's in Lantana, dude. You're going to get rents that are probably less than Broward for a 1-1 and a 2-1. Okay? That means that you're going to get $1,600 here. And yeah, they even say, look, the 2-1, they're getting $1,800. And they say somehow for the 1-1, they're also getting $1,800. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt, guys. Shoot, why not? I mean, first of all, who rents bigger apartments for the same amount of money? Nobody. But let's give them the benefit of the doubt just because the deal is so ludicrous, it doesn't make any sense. They're collecting $3,600 a month for the property, yet they want $850,000 for it. It's a hard discard. We're going to go ahead. We're going to say big pass on this property, and we're going to keep looking. Yeah. No fun. All right. Next property up. We are back in Miami-Dade County. All right. We're looking at a $407 per square foot duplex with a cost of $790,000. Currently, they are paying $12,052 a year in taxes. Square foot wise, 1,938 square feet. Okay, the rents they're saying that they're getting $4,450 a month in rent. Let's put that there. All right, if that's the case, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever either. Let's look at the guts of this deal. They have no pictures either. All right, $4,500 income producing duplex. Yada, yada, yada. It's a 2-1 and a 2-1. They're saying that for one of the 2-1s, they're collecting $2,500, and the other one, they're only collecting $1,950, which begs the question, could you increase this rent to $2,500 easily, right? Because if you can, maybe it's worth looking into. Maybe it's a deal now, right? Maybe it's easy for you to come in here and increase the rents and make this property cash flow. However, even if you increase it to that amount, right, this property wouldn't even pay the mortgage, okay? It wouldn't even pay the mortgage. So for that reason, you would be cash out of pocket every single month for a while, okay? Look at this. You'd be cash out of pocket. Oh, that's wealth. So you'd be cash out of pocket, dude, for like over 10 years, all right? If you're also paying, you know, saving for expenses, vacancy, and capital expenses and repairs and maintenance, right? You wouldn't cash flow on this property until year 10. So another discard. Go ahead, put it on the board here. Next property up, $403 per square foot property, $849,000, $990 fourplex, right? In Broward County, paying $12,000, also $398 a year. And this one's bigger. It's 2,106 square feet. Let's see. Okay, let's look at the pictures, guys. Okay, so stereotypical Broward duplex. I already know off the bat, like, I'm not a fan of the box ACs there, but okay. Plenty of parking outside. The fence could be nicer. Things you could possibly, I always look at things you could possibly do to make it look better and charge and be able to get more rent, right? So the good thing about this, guys, when you see this roof, right, this roof style, that means that there's attic space. And attic space is great because attic space could let you put AC ducts in them so you don't have these freaking box ACs. Nobody likes box ACs, guys. Nobody. Okay? All right, question here. Why are there only 3 meters, right? Probably these two are for a house. Is this other one for the house too? Where's the fourth? Okay, so I already have a couple of red flags in this one because of the pictures that they put. Let's make sure it's an actual fourplex and not a triplex or a duplex. Okay, so it is zoned multifamily. Let's go down here. Okay, yeah, it says that it's four units. So it's a 4-unit income producing property. Now let's see how much income it could produce. Okay, so you say 4-unit property in the heart of Middle River Terrace, 2 1-1s and 2 studio units on 2,100 square feet. Okay, must be purchased as a package with the adjacent property, creating a combined assemblage that unlocks development potential with both properties. So again, they might be pricing this for development potential, which we're not interested in, guys. We're interested in cash flow. Now, they put how much they're cash flowing here, or they're making a month in rent here. They're making $1,840 there, $1,715, $1,715, $1,715, right? And so that means that they're collecting almost $7,000 a month in rent. Now, guys, just because the property wasn't really appeasing, I honestly, it's funny how like your brain works. I thought that this was going to be in the red. Okay, it's actually not. You could actually get out if you could prove these rents. If these are rents that the guy actually has, right, on a lease, then you could get a mortgage for this easily, right? You get a mortgage for this easily. Now let's find out. Sorry, guys. Let's find out if today was a long day. I got very little sleep. All right, let's find out if these prices are accurate. Okay. Now check this out, guys. He's saying that for his studio, he's getting $1,715, right? When the median in Broward County for a 1-bedroom, 1-bath is $1,600, right? And he's saying that for this one, he's also getting $1,840. So like, I think, right? And let's look at the condition of these units, right? So we know it's box ACs, it's not favorable. Look at these pictures, guys. Does this look like something like for a 1-1 you'd pay almost $2,000 for? I beg to freaking differ, okay? So that's another red flag. Red flag here that says month to month that they don't have actual leases for them, right? I think that you could actually get, let's give him the benefit I think that giving him $1,600 for the 1-1s is giving him the benefit of the doubt, but let's give it to him anyway. And studios, it's going to be less than that, dude. It's going to be, I mean, in this condition, 1,200 at best. And all of a sudden you're in the red. So for that reason, I call BS on this property. There's no way they're getting these rents. And if you're watching me, real estate agent, and you think I'm wrong, post the leases. Black out the dates, black out the names or whatever. Post the leases or show me in the property history that you actually leased them out. Let's see. Well, it's not in the property history that this property ever had a rental that rented out for that amount of money. So I call BS. So that's that. Another property that bites the dust today. Guys, I'm sorry. 5 out of 9 so far are a fail. And that's just the way of the game, guys. It's going to be a 1%, like the 1% properties, like you're looking for 1% of the rent to the purchase price. They also happen about that many times, like naturally recurring. They happen about once every 100 properties that you analyze, you'll come across a 1% kind of property. So don't be surprised if in one of these that we review 9 deals, all 9 fail or only one kind of makes it. It's just the nature of the beast. And that's the reason that we do this. We do this every single day so that at the end of the day, you know which ones make sense and which ones do not, because most of them don't. All right. That being said, let's, I think we put discard here, did we? All right. Discard. Let's look at our next property. Okay. Discard this one. Go back here. Okay. We're back in Miami-Dade County. Price is a little bit lower now, $689,000. They want about $388 per square foot. Okay, they're paying $6,982 a year in taxes. Square feet wise is not that big, 1775. Okay, how much are they collecting in rents? They're saying that they're only collecting $2,300. That's tough, dude. I hope that something is wrong here. It's also in flood zone X. Flood zone X is a good flood zone to be in. Okay, let's look at the pictures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I count 5 doors, guys. And if it really has 5 doors, then this is a commercial multifamily, which might not be in our wheel shop of what we focus on here. Okay, they're not gorgeous. They need renovations, but maybe for the area that they're in, it kind of matches the market, right? Which is something that you need to keep in mind, guys, right? I see a lot of people, they'll buy like a duplex like this and they'll bling it out, dude. And I'm guilty of this, and that's why I could talk. They'll bling it out. They'll put like, you know, the really nice like knuckled brass like door handles on the doors, and they'll do all this extra stuff to just make it look like so awesome. So awesome. I mean, you make it look like a brickle apartment. But at the end of the day, nobody that wants a brickle apartment is going to go live like in a dump of a neighborhood. So you got to make sure that if you want to renovate, if you're going to renovate so you could get the best rents possible, that you renovate your apartment to the standard of the area. I mean, don't go balling, right? Like you don't see Lennar, right, within their homes putting like freaking marble everywhere. Why? Because they know that that's not what their tenants are going to be able to afford. It's not where they're locating that community. They're placing their product in the right place, right? A Burns steakhouse, for you that have been in Tampa, very fancy steakhouse, it's not going to be, right, next to a school, right? Because that area is probably residential, right? They probably want to put that next to downtown, in the area where the people with money are coming out and they're hungry and they're going to buy a steak right after like leaving the office, or like they're going to close on a deal and go buy a steak. So it's the same idea, guys, with real estate. It all kind of changes, but it's the same. So if you're going to ball out, don't ball out ball out as far as the area can take your ballerness. Okay. All right. That being said, this property, let's look at the deal. I didn't look at the guts. I was talking too much. All right. Here we go. So it's 222s. 222s. And they're saying that they're getting $2,300 for them in North Miami Beach. It's possible, guys. Let me see what it's actually coded for, this property. A multifamily. Yep. Nice. Look, this property has been reported as delinquent in paying property taxes starting in 2023. Distressed property. This guy's motivated to sell. And it is a duplex. It looks like a fourplex, but damn, it's a duplex. Okay, cool. So He's saying he's getting $2,300 for the 2-2 in Miami Beach. Maybe you could get away with that. So let's say 2,300 here and 2,300 if you could get it on the other one, right? That puts you there. The problem here, guys, is that it's just not making enough. Now, if you are in North Miami Beach, okay, that means that you probably have nicer things around you. So you could probably, with this property, upgrade it, actually leave it pretty nice, and rent it for substantially more money. Okay, that means that each unit is about 800 square feet, right? Yeah, like, oh, he doesn't even say that here. Okay, but like if each unit is about 800 square feet, right? Damn, like I think that you could probably get away with $2,500 for a 2-2 if it's really nice. Okay, because I know there's like some nice apartments like right in front of the water. But all right, do your homework, find out about the area. But the best thing about this property is what we just saw. They are distressed, guys. They are back on their taxes in 2023. So this guy might be looking to just get rid of the property. So you come in here with a good deal and say, look, dude, like you're probably having people call you and just, you know, get rid of the property, offer you $300,000 for it or whatever. Look, man, I'm not going to lowball you. Sell it to me at $550. Sell it to me at $550 and we call it a day. Because even if you could rent them out at $2,300, guys, rents will eventually go up. The property appreciates 3% a year. You're in North Miami Beach. It's a single family style kind of home. Like even though it's a duplex, right? It's not like a high rise, it's not apartments. Like there's more privacy with this, right? If interest rates were to drop to just where they were at a couple, like 3 weeks ago, 5.98, right? This deal makes a whole lot more sense for financing the deal. You could cash flow on day one with this property using a DSCR loan, right? Like an investor loan where you only need 25% down payment. And if you're doing FHA, man, you'd be cash flowing in less than 8 years, right? And God forbid this were to go down to 4.5% interest rates, because then you'd be cash flowing in less than 3 years. It would be a fantastic deal. But maybe you could go to this guy and offer him $450. And depending on how bad his situation is, he might take you up on it. And even if at 6.38%, you'd be cash flowing, right, in day one with just a 10% down payment loan. And if we were at 5.98, you'd be cash flowing within a year with an FHA loan. So guys, when you see properties like this, they're distressed. The asset's not so distressed, but the seller is definitely distressed. He's not paying his taxes. Make a deal. Make a deal happen to him, because he I guarantee you would rather walk away with $450,000, okay, than get the property taken from him. So with that being said, guys, for that reason alone, this property is worth looking into, and this property is going to be a close. All right, let's take our look at our last two deals of the day, guys. Discard this property. All right, we're going to discard this property. All right, it says that we have 3 deals left. All right, let's look at the deals. All right, so next one takes us to Miami-Dade County. All right, it's a duplex. It's selling at $750,000, but it's less money per square foot. They're currently paying $16,115 a year in taxes. Square feet, 2,119 square feet. Okay, that is coming in at $354 a square foot. Okay, basically. Let's take a look at the pictures. Okay, it's nice. They painted it. The inside could be remodeled. Those fans, man, who buys these? All right. Yeah, so it could use some remodeling. It could use some painting for sure. What's going on with the roof? The ceiling, better yet, right? Which is, yeah, what's going on with the roof? The bathrooms could get updated, everything. So this property needs some updating, okay? Let's see what they're getting for in rent. They don't tell us. It's in Flood Zone X, which is good. Let's look at the guts of this. Okay, let's look at the listing. Prime investment opportunity. This 4-bedroom, 2-bath property is ideally located in a highly desirable area, offering exceptional potential for expansion and upgrades, perfect for investors, yada, yada, yada. So is it 221s? Let's make sure. Let me make sure that this is actually a duplex, guys. Okay. Yeah, it's own multifamily. And yeah, it's a duplex. All right, so this is a legit duplex. And if it's your first time joining us, if you watch other videos, you'll see A lot of times, I want to say 1 out of 20 times, a real estate agent will post a house as a duplex. So they'll try to pass off the single family house as being a multifamily asset, which, you know, it's not. And then you can't get like some of the loans that we talk about. The numbers don't make sense. Like then you can't sell. It just gets so complicated that those we discard automatically. But in this case, it's legit. It's 2 2 1s. Okay. Now let's estimate how much we could think that they could get. They're in Miami-Dade County. We saw the product. It's not very updated. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt and say that you could get $2,300 each. Okay, that's 23 and 23. It's already on the board. This deal doesn't make sense. Let's discard it. And that's another property that bites the dust today. All right, guys. And we're going to go here. We're going to go here and click on that. All right, we're up to a 1 point. This is kind of what we were waiting for, guys. The cheapest ones per square foot. $1.25 million fourplex, okay, in Miami-Dade County. All right, they're currently paying $11,990 dollars per square in taxes. Sorry, interest rates, by the way, are 6.3. Oh, they were 6.38, guys, but I forgot. Interest rates went up today. We're at 6.46, 646, 646. Okay, we're at 646 square feet. It's a big one, 3,544 square feet, which is why the price per square foot is lower. Let's look at the pictures. I'm excited. Okay, so 2-story. I like these parking stuff. Like I've always liked them. Okay, mini splits. It looks well maintained. Oh, shoot. It looks well maintained. Okay. They're getting a little side hustle there, a little side hustle, getting a little bit of laundry money, laundry coins, bling bling. All right, cool. All right, I'll tell you what I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of the flat roof. Okay. Not a fan of the color. Not a fan of the those window ACs. No, they're not. Yeah, apart from that, you know, not bad. Yeah, not a fan of these like landings here with like, it just looks so, right? But that's it. The deal makes sense, guys. So 1969 fourplex located on a prime corner, offering a high yield turnkey acquisition for investors, targeting one of Miami's most resilient rental submarkets. The property consists of 4 spacious 2-bedroom, 1-bath units. So it's 4 2 1s. Okay. Before we get into this, let's see how much they are saying. So the 2 1s, they say that one of them is renting for $1,950, the other one is renting for $1,500, the other one is renting for $1,800, and then the last one is renting for $2,050. Okay. And if that's the case, then this deal doesn't make any sense either, right? It wouldn't pay the mortgage. All right. It wouldn't pay the mortgage. Now, it's interesting how he puts, right, the vacant one could rent at $12,050, right? Because he's giving you what the highest 2-1 could probably rent for in the area. Let's look at our homework and see what that comes up with. A 2-1, okay, in median in Miami-Dade is $2,300. So guys, like for duplex style property. So guys, what if we could increase the rent, right? What if it's just not managed very well and we could actually increase these rents to just $2,050, what he says that he's getting for the other one, right? It still wouldn't make sense. But guys, where's it located? It's in Hialeah. Hialeah is expensive, right? I would do my homework on this because if the median turns out to be true and you could actually get $2,300 a pop on all of these, right? The property makes a lot more sense. And if you could work his numbers and just be aggressive, use his own numbers against him, use this information against him and tell him, look, bro, you already posted this online. You already said that, you know, you're only making at best $7,300. Dude, with that, I can't even pay the mortgage, dude. And that's with me putting 25% down. That would mean that I need to put $312,000 down and I still wouldn't even have enough money to pay the mortgage. You're ridiculous on your price. I need you to come down to, I don't know, $900,000, right? Because at $900,000, you make it easier, not easy, but easier for me to be able to possibly get a mortgage on this. Okay. And then guys, what you can do, the play here is, if you could, I would only do all this. I wouldn't only go through all this trouble, right, of having this conversation. If I could actually check out the rents in the area, and I could prove to myself that I could actually get the median rent here if I renovate the product just a little bit. So $2,300 here, 23 here, 23 there, 23 there, right? Then you have a badass property. All of a sudden, you just bought yourself a 1%, rural deal. Okay, the bank's gonna love you because you're gonna be making way more money, right? Than the mortgage is gonna cost. And you could even buy this FHA and be cash flowing, even with these terrible interest rates, in less than 2 years. And if they just dropped to what they were 3 weeks ago, right, you'd cash flow on day one. So for that reason, guys, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to give this property a C, but it's close. It's close. It's not a total fail. All right. All right, let's look at the next deal. The last deal of the day. Discard this one so it's easier for everybody watching. Okay, and it's a $293 per square foot duplex. They want $689,000 for it, okay? They're currently paying $9,151 a month in taxes. Square foot wise, 2,351 square feet, okay? That's where it comes, 293, right? 293 there. Let's see what they're telling us that they get for it in rent. Okay, I already like this, guys. The price is not bad. The square footage is fantastic. It's in Broward. Broward is growing. Let's look at the pictures. Okay, so did they decrease the price on this? And I think that we actually reviewed this home yesterday, this duplex yesterday, and there was a reason that it wasn't quite making sense. But I was fangirling all over it until I did some more homework. Let's look at the guts of the deal and see if I'm still right about this. Yes, that was the reason. It's because even though it's really big, I mean, you could fit 2 3-bedroom, 2 baths in here. It's actually only 2 2-1s, or there's a 2-1 and there's a 2-2, and the 2-2 is renting for $2,000, right? And then the 2-1, you could, I mean, honestly, like if the property, I think on the inside it's nice, you could probably get like for the renovated one, which if you guys didn't see it, I'll show you guys now, right? But the renovated one is not terrible, right? It can still have some renovations. Look at they can put new AC vents. I mean, doesn't cost a lot. It has a really nice big window there, right? So it's nice, right? So I think that you could probably get $2,300 for this, even though it's in Pompano Beach, $2,300. Now, of course, you want to do your homework on this, guys. But I think that the 2-2, right? That one is rented out at $2,000. I think that that's accurate if you have not renovated it, right? And at that point, this property doesn't make sense. Even though it's priced the cheapest per square foot, that's why we run the numbers, guys, because these are all like little indicators that you can say like, hey, like the price is cool. Hey, like, the interest rate, I mean, that's for every property, right? But the price is good for the amount of square feet that you're buying. The property actually looks really nice if we just look at the pictures. You're looking at this, you're like, oh, dude, it's going to have a 3-2, maybe 2 3-2s. And if it had two 3-2s, right, you could probably rent this out at $3,200 each, right? And all of a sudden, it's a banger of a deal. But it's not. It's not. So that's why we look at the guts of every deal. That's why you got to analyze every single deal. That's what we do on this channel every single day. So if this was of any value to you, please click subscribe. Please leave some comments. Just hit us up tomorrow. If you guys have any questions about any deal that you might be looking at, just let me know. I'll be happy to go over it for you. Or we could do it live. We could do it privately, however you guys want. That being said, have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow. And yeah, some good deals out there.